You're working super hard. You have a calendar that's so full, there's no white space. And you're leading a very productive team producing results. So, why aren't you getting promoted? Many high performing leaders don't really know what it takes to advance. They hold outdated beliefs about advancement that are holding them back. This is part three of a three-part series, So You Want a Promotion, where we've been exploring what it takes to position yourself for advancement. Here's a quick recap of what we've talked about so far. In part one, we covered what you should stop doing. Stop working harder, stop always raising your hand, stop doing everything asked of you, and stop always letting others claim the spotlight. In part two, we discussed what you should start doing. And in general, this is about operating more strategically. Start being strategic about the work that you take on. Start making your work visible. Start setting boundaries and learning to say no strategically. And start drawing attention to your accomplishments. In this video, we'll examine 5 essential leadership traits that senior leaders look for when they're deciding who gets a promotion. Qualities that can make the difference between you advancing or languishing are amplifying your impact, mentoring others to develop talent, delegating effectively, empowering others to do their best work, and becoming a trusted advisor to your colleagues. We'll look at what these qualities mean and how you can embrace them. Let's start with the first quality, amplifying your impact. This is about thinking organizationally, not just departmentally. Leaders at senior levels understand how their work connects to and enables other parts of the organization. They see the whole system, not just their piece. Every initiative you lead should clearly connect to organizational priorities. True leadership means extending your influence beyond your immediate team. Your and your team's work should align with company mission, goals, and high-level strategy. Actively collaborate across functions. Lead the way. Don't wait to be asked. Identify opportunities where your team's work intersects with other departments. Initiate the collaboration and plan and execute on projects to improve both departments' way of working. This is also about thinking about your whole industry. How does your organization fit into the broader industry landscape? Leaders who get promoted understand market trends, competitive dynamics, and where their company needs to go to be market leaders. So, why does amplifying your impact matter? Well, it means that you're demonstrating strategic thinking. Senior roles require you to connect the dots clearly between your work and the work of colleagues across the organization, and then to the higher level goals and mission of the organization. You become known beyond your function too. When you collaborate cross functionally, you build relationships with leaders in other areas who can advocate for your promotion. It also shows that you're ready for broader scope and responsibilities and accountabilities. You're thinking beyond your current domain, which helps senior leaders envision giving you more responsibility. And you align with what the C suite really cares about. Senior leaders think about organizational strategy and market positioning. When you speak their language, it's natural for them to open the door for you. So, how can you develop and demonstrate this trait? Well, first, be conversant in your organization's strategy. Pay attention to leadership communications, especially regarding strategic plans and financial performance. This will help you understand what keeps senior leaders at your company up at night and how you can contribute on their level. Map the connections in your organization. Get familiar with and even create a visual map if that works for you. How your team's work enables other departments and the dependencies for your team. Analyze where you could create more value for the organization by enabling a stronger connection. Don't wait for permission regarding cross-functional projects. Go ahead and initiate them. If you see an opportunity to collaborate with another department to solve a shared problem, reach out, make it happen. When you talk about what you're doing at work, speak in business outcomes. Frame your work in terms of organizational impact, not just the task completion. For example, we improved customer retention by 15% is way more powerful than we finished the project on time. Stay on top of your industry happenings. Read the industry publications, attend conferences, understand competitive trends, and bring this perspective to your leadership conversations and your team's work. Strategic questions in meeting. How does this align with our Q3 priorities? Or how might this impact our work with the sales team? Shows that you're thinking broadly. Volunteer strategically for cross-functional initiatives. Certain task forces, working groups, and special projects can actually give you a lot more visibility across the organization, and they'll demonstrate your ability to work beyond your department. Now let's take a look at the second quality, which is mentoring. This is about developing the next generation of talent in your organization. And where mentoring is particularly meaningful is in a couple of places. First, helping new team members quickly become productive and connected to the team. So pay attention to onboarding. You can set people up for success. The second place is job skills training for current team members. Building the capability of current team members and continuously developing your team's skills ensures that they can take on more complex work, and it frees you up for higher level responsibilities. And you know this matters for your career. Leaders are measured by what they build. It isn't just in what you personally accomplish, it's in how you develop others to contribute to the overall success of the organization. It'll really help you multiply your impact when you mentor. When you do this effectively, you create a team that can operate at a higher level, and that reflects well on your leadership. Mentoring also demonstrates readiness for senior roles. Senior leaders don't just train people to do a specific job, they develop others, challenging them to grow and make even greater contributions. You're also building loyalty and advocacy. People you mentor become your champions. They advocate for you. They increase your visibility and they amplify your reputation. This creates opportunities for you to garner the attention of those who make the decisions on advancements. And you show that not only are you not threatened by talent, but that you embrace it. Insecure leaders hoard knowledge and they don't help others grow. Confident leaders who get promoted are secure enough to develop others who might surpass them. So how can you develop your mentoring practice? You can start by creating a structured onboarding process. Develop a 30, 60, 90-day plan for new team members. It should include key relationships that they need to build, systems and tools that they need to learn, and early wins that they can achieve. Make mentoring a regular practice. Build it into your weekly one-on-ones through regular feedback, coaching questions, and skill development conversations. Be willing to take on mentees from other teams too. Teach by showing, not just telling. For almost everyone, learning is solidified when you guide them through experiences. Provide learning experiences for team members to grow their skills. Focus on the why and not just the what. When teaching skills, explain the reasoning behind your approach. This develops not just the competency, but also the judgment to know when and where to apply that competency. Create learning opportunities and connect people to them. Assign folks stretch projects or recommend team members for important cross-functional work. Invite team members to meetings above their level where you can introduce them to other leaders and let them lead initiatives with your coaching. Then advocate for their advancement. Provide actionable feedback. Vague feedback like, oh, good job, doesn't develop people. They have no idea what they did right. Be specific about what they did well and about what they could improve with concrete examples. Share your own learning journey. Talk about mistakes you've made and lessons you've learned. This normalizes the idea of growth and builds psychological safety. The third quality that we'll examine together is delegating strategically. This is about freeing yourself for higher value work. Why is this essential for promotion? Well, it helps senior leadership see you as someone who's capable of preparing others for success, which is a benefit to the whole organization. If you're doing all the tactical work yourself, you make it really difficult for others to picture you working strategically. Delegation is how leaders scale. Leadership requires letting go of the doing and embracing enabling others to do. Leaders who delegate well show that they can take on a larger scope of responsibilities and keep it all running smoothly. You free up your precious time for the work that gets you promoted, the strategic thinking, relationship building, and innovation that requires time and mental space. Delegation creates the environment for you to get that time and space. And through delegation, you develop your team. Delegation is one of the most powerful development tools. When you delegate work, especially when it challenges people, you build your team's capabilities. And this also helps you demonstrate trust in others. Leaders who trust their teams and delegate effectively create higher performing organizations. So, how can you learn to delegate effectively? Identify what to delegate. Make a list of what you do and then ask, what could someone else do? Or maybe even what could someone else do better? What am I doing that doesn't require my level of experience? Match tasks to development goals. Delegate work that stretches people just beyond their current capability and helps them reach their career goals by building their skills. Delegate the outcome, not just the process. Tell people what success looks like and let them figure out how to get there. This builds problem-solving skills and gives them a sense of ownership. Provide context, not just telling them about the tasks. Explain why the work matters, how it connects to broader goals, and the expected output. Build in checkpoints so you can avoid micromanaging. Agree on milestones where you'll review the progress, and even let your team members set up the milestone meetings and be accountable for the reporting. You should resist the urge to take the work back. When someone struggles, mentor them instead of taking over. Taking work back undermines their development and it robs you of your time. Celebrate their success. When delegated work succeeds, give credit publicly. This reinforces their capability and your leadership. Identify repetitive low-level tasks and then ask your team to help automate them. They'll enjoy getting onerous tasks off of their to-do lists, and the act of figuring out how to automate the process will also build their capabilities. Also, enlist the aid of AI strategically for data analysis, writing reports, creating templates, maybe even figuring out how to improve some processes. Have your team members work on the projects to help them build their skills with AI. The third quality we'll examine is empowering others to do their best work. This is about creating an environment where people have the authority, the resources, and the psychological safety to make decisions and take ownership over their work. Empowerment also means that your team members don't need to check with you on everything. They know what decisions they can make and when to consult you. There's trust amongst all of you. You're also removing obstacles when you empower people. Your job as a leader is to clear the path so your team can execute. Ensure that they have the resources they need to do their jobs well and keep the corporate politics from interfering with their work. You're also creating psychological safety. People do their best work when they feel safe to take calculated risks, admit mistakes, and challenge ideas without fear of repercussions. Why is empowerment critical for promotion? Empowered teams outperform. According to research cited by Forbes, teams with high autonomy and empowerment consistently deliver better results than those led by command and control managers. You demonstrate leadership maturity. Insecure leaders have to control everything. Mature leaders create conditions for others to succeed. You also build a reputation as a leader that people want to work for. The best talent wants to work for leaders who empower them. Your ability to attract and retain top performers becomes your competitive advantage. You also show that you can lead at scale. Empowerment is how senior leaders manage large organizations. You can't personally oversee everything. You need to trust others to make good decisions and do their work well. So how can you empower your team? Be explicit about what decisions team members can make independently and what requires consultation and what you absolutely have to approve. This prevents you from being the bottleneck and ensures that team members feel ownership over their own work. Provide resources and remove barriers. Ask your team members on a regular basis, what do you need from me and what's in your way? And then act on what they tell you. Create a safe environment for people to speak up, experiment, and learn from failure. Encourage calculated risk taking. When someone takes a reasonable risk and it doesn't work out, don't punish them. Just ask about lessons learned. This encourages innovation. Give credit publicly, provide feedback privately. Celebrate team wins in visible forums, but save developmental feedback for private conversation. Ask questions instead of giving answers. So, for example, when a team member comes to you with a problem, instead of just giving them a solution, ask them, what do you think we should do? This builds their problem solving and collaboration skills. Shield your team from organizational chaos. Your job is to be a filter and contextualize information from above so your team can focus on execution and not be distracted. Advocate for your team's needs. Use your influence to get your team the resources, recognition, and opportunities that they need to succeed. The test quality we'll examine is becoming the trusted advisor. This is about your name being invoked when you're not in the room in a good way. And what this looks like is that other leaders seek your input. Peers and senior leaders come to you to talk things over when they want advice or a different perspective, and when they want to problem solve before making decisions. You're included in important conversations. You get invited to strategy meetings, planning sessions, and decision-making forums, sometimes even when it's not directly in your area. Your name also comes up when you're not there. And people say, we should ask you, or let's get your perspective when you're not in the room. You have a reputation for sound judgment. People trust your advice because you have a track record of giving thoughtful, balanced perspectives that consider multiple agendas. This is the ultimate career accelerator. When senior leaders trust you and seek your counsel, you are already operating at the next level. Formal promotion then becomes just a matter of timing. The more people rely on your judgment, the more valuable you become. You're no longer just executing, you're actually shaping decision. Being a trusted advisor creates reciprocal, powerful relationships. The people you advise become your advocate. And when executives seek your input, it shows you are demonstrating executive presence. That makes you top of mind when promotion decisions are made. So how can you become the trusted advisor? Develop deep expertise in your domain. Invest in continuous learning and stay current in your field. Build broad business acumen. Study other functions. Understand how the business makes money and learn about the competitive landscape. Trusted advisors see the whole picture. Cultivate relationships proactively. Don't wait for others to come to you. Build relationships across the organization through collaboration, informal conversations, and genuine interest in other people's work. Share your insights generously. When you learn something valuable, share it. Write articles, present at meetings, and offer perspectives that help others think differently. Be the calm, thoughtful voice. In high-stress situations, be the person who asks the clarifying questions, considers multiple perspectives, and helps the group think about implications. Give advice that serves the organization, not your ego. Trusted advisors put organizational success above personal agendas. Be willing to share your perspective, even if it might not benefit you directly. Follow through. Don't make empty words just to make it look as though you're participating. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you offer to help, admit when you don't know. Saying, I don't know, but I'll find out, and then following up helps you build credibility. Trusted advisors don't pretend to have all the answers. Ask powerful questions. Great leaders help others see what they can't see on their own. Ask questions that reframe the problem and open new possibilities. Create value in every interaction. Whether it's a hallway conversation or a formal meeting, leave people better off because you were there and they talked to you. Share an insight, make a connection, or offer a perspective that they hadn't considered. Be known for something specific. It's important for you to develop a reputation for particular strengths. Maybe you're the person who excels at change management, or the one who understands the customer better than anyone, or the strategic thinker who has a knack for knowing what comes next. So these 5 traits will help position you as a senior leader. Amplifying your impact, mentoring, developing others, delegating effectively, empowering your team to do their best work, and becoming the trusted advisor. They share a common theme, and they're about creating value that's far beyond your individual contributions. They demonstrate what you think, that you think and act like someone who's already at the next level. These traits are essential for senior leaders, but you don't have to master them all immediately or overnight. Pick one or two and focus on them this quarter, then build from there. Over these 3 videos, we've covered the mindset, behaviors, and the traits required for promotion. The question now is, what are you going to do with this information? If you're ready to accelerate your journey, I'd love to support you. Book a free discovery call at VantageShiftCoaching.com. I'm Suzanne Alnagar, helping you become the senior leader you know you can be.